Good evening. My name is Claude White. This is a very special live stream. I really, I thought about it long and hard, and at first I wasn't. I was going to do this about an hour earlier. Please forgive me for my tardiness. Um, this particular live stream is about us as a people protecting and displaying affection for each other, um, being more respectful of our culture, and being better gatekeepers. And what I mean by gatekeepers are basically we have to be careful who we let in as far as our culture, as far as even this sector of YouTube. And I understand, and I'm not always in this sector, as you know. I mainly deal with sports, but obviously, you know that I am a moderator for Olivia the Oracle. So obviously, I'm very well versed, excuse me, when it comes to the so-called Section 8 sector of YouTube, which it really isn't. It's just a roast and gag sector. Sometimes it's very fun, I have to say that, but unfortunately, I would say over the past 4 months, it has gotten recklessly out of control, and a lot of it is due to the outside interlopers, and you know who they are, and I'm not going to give them any shine. Now, one of the terms that I do hate when it comes to this sector of YouTube is there's a term now, clout chasing. And obviously, it's not just here, but it is in general. Hey, niece, how you doing this evening? It kills me when they use that term, clout chasing, like we're using so and so's name in a video to get more clicks and views. I mean, first of all, I'm on YouTube just like the next man or woman is on YouTube. I mean, we're all basically going through the same thing. Hey, Red Wings Hockey, it's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. I pray that all is well with you and yours. Um, I'm a human being just like everybody else. I bleed the same blood. Um, I don't feel that I'm any better than anybody else, but I'm certainly not the worst. And I tell you one thing: when it comes for a deep and genuine affection for me and mine, I definitely have that. Hey, Jen Lynn, it's good to see you. I appreciate you joining me this evening. But one thing I will say, and I will speak as a black, well, a child of God and being a black man is one and the same as far as I'm concerned. But I do not feel that enough of our men are behind or standing next to our black women. We are not doing a very good job in general. I'm not speaking, of course, for me, but I'm speaking, of course, for the black men that are in this sector of YouTube. And I understand that some of them, unfortunately, do not feel the same way. They will do anything for a click and a view. Obviously, not all of us feel that way, but there are too many of us that will throw our women under the bus just for a simple click and a view. And I think it's disgusting. I also feel the other way, also, when you have toxic females who talk about, oh, black man ain't this and black man ain't that. Listen, I have no respect for those women whatsoever. We know that there are a few of them, especially in the so called conscious sector of YouTube. That is an absolute joke. But what I'm going to talk about more in depth is letting people in mixed, airing out our dirty laundry, so to speak, in mixed company. And unfortunately, too many of the people in this particular sector of YouTube, and I appreciate that, have let in outside people into our sector. And you know who those people are. I mean, you have people like the German sausage. I mean, that was a couple of months ago. Proactive A, you know who I'm talking about, and a couple of others. D DC. I'll just put it. I'll just use their initials, and they were doing some vulgar things in regards to Auntie Olivia the Oracle, and that is absolutely disgusting, and it should not be tolerated. And it certainly should not be tolerated by the men in this sector. And the sad part about it is the men in this sector have gone eerily silent. And that makes absolutely no sense to me. As far as I'm concerned, and I understand that it's easy for me to say, well, I don't really know anybody on YouTube. I mean, I just deal with them as far as, you know, being on YouTube, being a moderator and dealing with trying to get my numbers up, this, that, and the third. But before any of that, we are black people first. And if anybody outside of our family, and I do consider this a family, especially this particular sector, I'm going to defend my women. And that's all there is to it. And for the men to be silent and let her have to go through this basically, I won't say alone, but for the most part, I mean, just out there without any backing is absolutely disgusting. And it's amazing how these men are eerily silent when it comes to that. But there's a so-called black manosphere, and they allow this to happen. I mean, would they want this to happen to their daughters, if they have any daughters, to their sisters, to their aunts, to their grandmothers? I mean, I don't know what happened to our people, but we must become better gatekeepers. We must become better stewards, and we must become better men towards our women. And listen, I'll be the first to say that not every woman is a queen. I understand that. But the ones that are deserve our respect and deserve our protection, especially from people outside of our people. But meanwhile, we have a family that we just saw. We just saw that member of that family get gunned down by a savage racist cop that is not of our people. And they were bent over backwards for that woman. Talking about, oh, we forgive her. Oh, one day she could be my friend. Man, there are people that will forgive people outside of this race, but I know people within our race that haven't spoken to each other over $20. But meanwhile, you're going to defend and bend over backwards for somebody who could care less whether you lived or died. Or in this savage's case, that person didn't even have killed that person like a dog. But that family, hey, let's be real, went out of their way to forgive them. I'm not forgiving anybody that takes out any of mine. You think you're going to get forgiveness from me after you take out one of my family? You can kiss my ass and hold on and wait for that one. Hold your breath. I can guarantee it will never happen. Not this way. I can't speak for the other cowards that are out there who are looking for acceptance from somebody who is not my people. And those people, they are worse. They are beyond cowards, beyond cowardice. And I can't stand that. There is nothing worse than a liar and a coward. And in many cases, they are one and the same. But we a lot of our people go out of our way to make sure we're going to invite these morons to the cookout. Are you serious? Oh, no, that's my friend. Oh, no, they all right. Don't try to convince me. You better make sure they're all right from the jump before you take them anywhere. And you better be careful who you invite. But no, let's bring in all these interlopers. Oh man, that's my so-and-so friend. Oh, it don't matter. Oh, she white, but she cool. You're right. You know how many times that has bit us in the ass as a people? And obviously, this does not apply to all people outside of our people. But there's more than enough of them to go around. And I tell you what, I'm tired of being the person who has to take that chance. I don't think we need to take that chance. I mean, that's just my opinion. I tell you what, we must be better gatekeepers. Look at the way we have given away our culture. And I'll give you a very good example of that. Remember the Motown thing that they did during the Grammys? And how Jennifer Lopez disrespected that? I mean, Jennifer Lopez made a mockery out of Motown. But who egged her on and who co-signed this bitch? Smokey Robinson. Oh, that means that her family enjoyed Motown just like every other family. Are you serious? I mean, she disrespected Motown and its legacy. And look at hip-hop. Well, that's not hip-hop anymore. Look how so-called rappers go out of their way to extend a hand of friendship to Eminem. And we all know that he was brought to us by Dr. Dre. I mean, and people go out of their way to, Eminem's cool. Yeah, man, he's one of the best that did it. Eminem's a clown. Nobody would have even gave a damn about Eminem without Dr. Dre. Is he a decent rapper? I mean, he's mediocre. He's nothing to write home about. But black people go out of the way. No, Eminem's cool. No, he's great. Please. I mean, we have given away our culture to where it is worth nothing. And we have allowed them to do this. And in fact, it has taken several of our people to make them legitimate. I mean, it's downright embarrassing. All you have to do is look at this sector of YouTube. Look how many people have caped for this so-called wrench. Are you serious? I could give a fuck about a wrench. What has he done? How has he uplifted this sector of YouTube? Has he brought anything to this sector? Absolutely not. All these people have brought are chaos and confusion to this sector. And believe me, this is a generational deal too. All you have to do is read the Willie Lynch papers and see that papers, because there are 4 different papers that were written back in 1719 still affect us in almost 2020. Remember, we are less than 3 months away from a new year and a new decade. But meanwhile, we still fall for the same okie doke. And that is nobody else's fault but our fault. I mean, we can cry white man all we want. But until we take it upon ourselves to do better, we're going to keep getting the shit starters, so to speak, that have weaved their way into our sector and into our lives and into our communities. Look at our people now compared to even the 20s and 30s when it was a segregated Jim Crow era. At least back then, we had black-owned businesses. How many black-owned businesses do you see right now? I mean, think about it. In many of our neighborhoods, we have to get our fish and our produce from Koreans. To go to a corner store, it's either an Arab or a person of so-called Spanish or Latin descent, excuse me. They're not Spanish, trust me. The Spaniards will tell them they are not Spanish. They just happen to be people who speak a certain part of a certain type of Spanish. And it's not true Spanish. Trust me. We go to everybody else for our stuff but us. So we are, in effect, still enslaved. But what are we going to do to make it better for us? I know one thing, we better come together or else we're going to perish as a people. And I'm not talking about in just our communities. I'm just talking about in general. Look at what has happened here in YouTube. Look at how they have snatched our channels left and right for just speaking up and trying to look out for our people. We get flagged. We get demonetized. We get channels snatched from us. But meanwhile, other races and other cultures have made a mockery of us, and they continue to make money off of us. We need to watch these people much more closely, and we need to say enough is enough. And if you're not going to bring anything positive to us, then stay the fuck out of our place and our places, period. Please like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Claude White. Take care, and God bless.